All right, now we're on the record. Now we'll have to behave.
Oh, don't say
No.
that.
Okay, everybody ready? I don't know how we'll do here, but we'll give it a shot. Okay,
It's
welcome
not
back to
live,
our weekly.
right?
Yeah.
It is
What was
live?
that?
Oh, we're in trouble.
No, it's
No,
not
no,
live.
no, it's not
being
live.
Okay,
recorded.
as long
It's
as it's
just-
not live, we'll be okay.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah,
I
we can
think.
cut it.
All right. Okay, welcome back to our weekly update with Homesteaders of Iowa. If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm Randy.
And I'm Linda.
And each week we introduce you to the people, classes, and conversations you'll experience at the Homesteaders of Iowa Expo and Midwest Conference coming this February. And today we're really excited because we have two of our returning speakers with us. And if you've heard them before, you already know that these two work incredibly well together. Joining us today are Dr. Patrick Jones and Dr. Jed Adamson. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
You bet. We're happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
The folks who may not know you yet, I'll start with you, Dr. Jones. Can you briefly share what you do, what led you into your line of work?
Yeah, sure. So I've been a veterinarian for over 30 years, done everything from, everything really, dairy, beef, swine, poultry, dogs and cats, had an ostrich breeder for a while.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I'm also an herbalist. So I used a lot of herbal remedies during that time. Eventually became a naturopath, a traditional naturopath. And so I had two clinics, and we, took care of the critters in one and the other folks in the other, but founder of the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine. So we do a lot of herb stuff.
That's interesting.
You live in Flyer, Idaho, but I understand you have roots in Iowa.
That's right. I'm a corn-fed Iowa boy. I lived in Iowa till I was about 10. So yeah, my dad taught at Iowa State. So I'm an Ames kid.
Yeah.
Almost the center of the state.
Yep.
Dr. Adamson, how about you? What did you do and what led you into your work?
Well, years ago, I used to be director for a county ambulance service. I
Okay.
thought that I would make my living out the back of an ambulance, and then I was injured myself. I was in the one horse rollover, had a horse roll over on me and messed my back up.
Okay.
And in trying to find my health again, I ended up back in school. And I became, first thing I did is went through a very unusual massage therapy program, then naturopathic training and acupuncture training, and into something called napropathy. Fell in love with it, and decided I was a lot happier doing that than I was working out of the back of an ambulance. And I didn't make it too far from, I grew up 60 miles from here, so yeah, I didn't make it too far. Not like Patrick, he's been all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So, you often speak together and clearly play off each other well. So, how did your partnership come about?
Somebody asked me that one
Yes.
time, and I told them we had the same parole officer.
That's right.
That's a good answer.
But that truly isn't the way it happened.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah. No, how did we hook up? I don't remember how we were sort of talking about herbs and things through emails and things somehow. I don't remember how we hooked up, but
Well, my biggest memory of you was when I came out to the one of your herb walks.
that's right.
And
And we had touched base a couple of times,
yeah,
about getting together, but we're doing this plant walk, and he comes up right before. He says, "Hey, I'm Jed." And I said, "Oh yeah, let's get together. Good to meet you." And
Yeah.
during the plant walk, all of a sudden I see this Jed's pulled out a ballpoint pen and he's poking this lady in the ear with his ballpoint pen. And I said,
Okay.
"Oh,
well, I'm
okay."
sure they've all done that. I mean, that's nothing unusual about that.
So
I don't know.
afterward, I says, "Okay, I got to hear the story. What's up?" And she said that she had this huge allergy attack. You know, we're out in the middle of a bunch of plants and flowers and things.
Yeah.
And she said it was so bad, I was about ready to get in my car and go home. I couldn't breathe, you know, and Jed pulled out his ballpoint pen and started poking auriculotherapy points in her ear. And she said, you know, a few minutes later, I felt great. All the allergy symptoms were gone and I felt great. And I said, okay, I need to get to know this guy better.
Yeah. And so it started, huh?
A- And be honest, who keeps who in line in there?
Actually, Lucy, my daughter.
I was
keeps
going to
us
say that'd
both-
be Lucy
Yeah,
mostly.
that's
It'd be
mostly who
Lucy,
does.
yeah.
I
And
figured that would be
what's-
the answer.
Yeah, what's really scary is they've left this unsupervised in here.
Yeah, no, they shut the door and
Oh.
everything.
Yeah, so
Maybe they're giving up.
Yeah.
Well, listen, when when you have families come to you, especially homesteading and rural families, what are some of the most common health challenges you're seeing right now?
Yeah. Well,
you know, knees, back, shoulders, you see a lot of
yeah,
because people are out working, they're picking up things and moving around. And so, yeah, the structural work, we see a lot of that. But also some of these flus and virus and things that are going around are getting to be more and more of a
beat people up.
problem.
Yeah. A lot of the two big epidemics, I think, in the country right now are anxiety and emotional things
True.
and autoimmune disease. I mean, that's just
Okay.
Yeah.
a huge percentage of the population. And, you know, that was not the case at all 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah.
At all, you know. And so something's going on. But we get a lot of that kind of thing too.
That's right.
A lot of the people that we see are coming to us because they've been going to physicians for years and years and years and not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And physicians are great. They have a lot of great tools and for the most part are great people that went into that business because they want to help folks.
Mhm.
But the modality itself of modern medicine is, you know, if you got something that needs a good mechanic, they're fantastic. But a lot of the long-term illnesses, they don't have solutions for the underlying problem. They have remedies for the discomforts of those conditions, you know, but they're
Yeah.
not getting to the root of what's going on sometimes. Just, you know, don't have the tools for that, which is fine. But
Well,
a lot of times, you know, more natural approaches, you know, I always say if you give the body what it needs, it can fix all kinds of things. And so
Right. Yeah.
sometimes if we can get to the root of things, which is more what natural medicine folks do, you know, they're getting to what's the fundamental problem, not what's the symptom of the fundamental problem.
there seems to be a shift happening in allopathic medicine too. I just have the conversation with a pediatrician this morning. And we were discussing how more and more it's getting where doctors don't even touch their patients.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of that happened at COVID. With me, if I can't get my hands on somebody, I need to, you know, if it's joint, knees, back, shoulders, or even the emotional things we're talked about, particularly working in the ear, we can help that. But he was telling me, he's a pediatrician. He says, my patients can't even talk to me. I'm thinking, that sounds like you. I mean, you spent your practice with animals and
Yeah, no, that's not that hard.
yeah, they don't talk. Yeah. And they were saying, I don't know what you'd do if you couldn't put your hands on
Yeah.
them.
No, it's very different. Modern medicine is very different than it was historically, which is too
Yeah.
bad. The other problem with it, and again, this isn't the doctor's fault, it's the industry's fault, but they're so compartmentalized,
Yeah.
you know, that they
Mhm.
only see, you know, this one thing. It's like they're working on a assembly line and their job is just to screw that bolt into that thing, you know,
Right.
right. That's all they do all day. And if there's a big crack in the windshield, well, that's some other guy does that. You know, I'm just going to keep doing my
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
And they don't have any connection to the whole picture sometimes. And I'm, you know, I mean, I've had brain surgery twice. I'm glad there's guys that only think about brain surgery. But, you know, their ability to do any follow-up care and management of the case is very diminished because they're so very specialized.
Jump in
Okay,
on.
go ahead.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think it's one of the reasons we work together so well. You'll never find a better herbalist than Patrick. His experience, the experience he got where he was able to work with the animals, with many situations that I couldn't have done. If it was a human with that type of injury, that type of wound, they'd have to be in the hospital, or somebody's going to come haul you off for not taking proper care of them. But with the animals, he was the emergency room.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what so much of the work I do is a hands-on. It's structural work and the acupressure and work in the ear. And when you take both the structural work and combine it with the nutritional, the herbal work that he does, it's a full package. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, we collaborate on cases
Yeah, a lot.
and a lot.
Yeah.
And, we'll get something weird and we're both thinking about it and scratching our heads and trying to figure out the best solution with all kinds of different tools between the two of us. So,
Yeah, it sounds like you complement each other in your practice. That's great.
One of the things we hear a lot at the conference is the idea of stewardship, taking care of what we've been given.
yeah,
How does that mindset shape the way you approach health?
well, I think that's the whole
Core.
approach.
Yeah.
That's the core of it. I mean, like I said, if you give the body what it needs, it can do all kinds of amazing things. And the way we eat, the way we live our lives, have a huge impact on our health.
All of that's completely true. Not allowed for a minute. I had something I was going to say. I lost it. That's completely true. And along with that, not only do you need the nutrition to get the body online, sometimes you got to get the brain to pay attention to an area of the body.
Yeah, no, that's right too.
Because over time, you've had something chronic, and it's like somebody in the back seat going, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And the brain just quits talking to it.
Yeah.
Both of these are part of our stewardship. And sometimes we need some help with that. Sometimes it's hard to see what's going on in our own body, and we need a friend to come up and actually help reconnect the brain. And a lot of the work that we do
Yeah, that's really
involve that type of work.
Especially with the auricular therapy. And for anybody that doesn't know, auricular therapy is using points in the ear. It was developed by a French neurologist back in the 50s, but it's, some similar principles to acupuncture, but using points in the ear to stimulate cranial nerves that then, go directly into the central nervous system and talk to everybody. But sometimes it's just waking up the connection and just saying, hey, by the way, you remember you got a hip, right? That's been screaming at you for 20 years.
Yeah.
Let's go see what's going on down there. And sometimes just working those points will clarify and organize signal transduction and all kinds of things. And all of a sudden it doesn't hurt anymore, because the nervous system's just been in the habit of it hurting. It thinks its job is to tell you it's hurting, and
Yeah.
sometimes herbs sometimes do that too, have a very similar effect sometimes. But, there's things we can do to re-establish neural connectivity. And then, of course, with the herbs, there's all kinds of things for all kinds of other issues. But if you give the body what it needs, and sometimes what it needs is a little poke in the ribs and say, hey, quit doing that.
Yeah, wake up here.
I should say a poke in the ear, not a poke in the ribs, but
Poke the ribs too. What comes to my mind is last year when we were out at your conference. I'll be careful how I tell the story because I don't want to be embarrassing anyone, but we had a lady we worked on who had been walking with a cane for years and years.
oh yeah.
Yeah. If I told you the whole story, it's kind of funny, but anyway,
Yeah,
long
go
story
ahead.
short, we worked on her and, well, I worked on her the first day and she had another problem and that was a lot better. And she came back the second day and her husband kept saying, sit in the chair, sit in the chair. Says, oh, he can't help knees. Well, we do knees big time at these shows.
Just because he fixed this other just because he fixed this other chronic problem I've had for 20 years, he certainly couldn't fix my knee.
Anyway, so we worked on her knee. She stands up. She tries it out. Bounces around a little bit. She takes her cane and had an elastic through the middle of it, and she pulls it apart. And I grabbed it,
Yeah.
and put it back together, and said, "Hey, you've been walking with that cane for a decade. You know, keep it. You at least for balance. You're not used to not having it." Well, I saw her at the end of the show. She was carrying it, and so I went up and we spoke for a minute. Well, 5 months later, she walked into my office here in Twin Falls, Idaho.
Wow.
She had been out on the East Coast or West Coast, and she was coming back. She came off and found me and said, "I just thought I'd come in and tell you I still don't walk with a cane."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that's 5 minutes of work. I mean, he didn't work on it for 5
Right.
minutes.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes, sometimes pain, sometimes there's something active going on and
Mhm.
that you're going to have continuous inflammation. But sometimes with pain, very often, in fact, it was an event and there was a lot of intense discomfort or long-term discomfort. And like I said, the nervous system just gets hung up on that idea, like your computer screen gets frozen
Yeah.
and you got to turn the dumb thing off and turn it back on so it remembers what the mouse is for.
That's what we
Okay.
do in the knee. We turn it off and turn it
Yeah,
back on.
you just poke around and reboot the nerves and get them thinking about, well, what's really going on down there, and let's go look and see.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's really
That's,
remarkable.
yeah, it is remarkable. And do you find more people are more open to this approach to medical care, healthcare,
Oh,
as
I
opposed to
think,
just going to an MD, let's say?
yeah,
Or
and,
is-
and in the veterinary practice, even people were always, if I thought real hard, I might think of, no, I don't even know if I could. Almost every client I ever offered herbal alternatives to was more than happy to do it. And a
Mhm.
lot of them, that's mostly what we were doing, and it was working really well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are looking for answers. They're
Yeah.
looking for answers other
Yeah.
than just take the pill.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I particularly think people at these homestead conventions, because they're there trying to take control of their life, trying
Oh,
to be self-sufficient.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah.
Being responsible.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
and
if you could,
they're also very interested in sustainable solutions.
Yeah.
right.
Right.
If we had a serious economic crash or whatever else, I mean, who knows what could happen in the world? It's nice to know that you have a whole garden and yard full of stuff that can solve your problems growing out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, if you could give families one simple change that they could start today, something practical and doable, what would that be?
You want to go first?
Well, so you can stall and think of something?
I thought of something. I've got something already.
Okay, go for it. Then I'll jump in.
I would tell them to quit eating stuff that isn't food,
Yes.
which is
Amen.
probably what you would tell them. That's why I was going to let you go first, so you would have something to say, and then I would have to think of something.
Okay, I'll think of something now.
But yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
the vast majority of the problems that we have is from eating stuff that is not really food, just completely unnatural and full of all kinds of things that our body's trying to sort out what the heck to do with this and what the heck to do with that. Grow your own food or go to the farmer's market and pay some other nice lady to grow your own food,
Yeah.
Right.
but eat real stuff. And uh, uh, it's astounding how much better you feel just from that.
There's an old saying that goes, "Do not fuel your body at the same place you fuel your car." Don't eat out of the gas station.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
That's not
good
good
advice.
food.
There you go.
I don't think I've ever heard that. That's
That's
excellent.
a good one. Quick fun question. What's one health myth that you hear all the time that just makes you shake your head?
Well,
That's tough questions.
yeah. The biggest one for me is parasites.
Yeah.
You know, I worked in a animal disease diagnostic lab for several years. I was a veterinarian for over 30 years. You know, I know a lot about parasites. And there are so many, you know, natural practitioners out there diagnosing parasites all over the place, left and right, and using techniques that are completely meaningless. Uh, and telling people they've got these terrible parasite infections. It's really super easy to diagnose parasites. And if the guy who told you you have a serious parasite problem didn't pull some blood or look at some poop or something, go get another opinion, you know, because a lot of it's nonsense. They're making a lot of money selling stuff to people. And I guarantee you, as easy as it is to identify parasites, if the medical profession could find parasites at that level, they'd be selling a lot of stuff because they like to make money. You know, the pharmaceutical companies would be going out of their minds selling parasite stuff to everybody to save them, you know. They're not doing anything with it.
Okay.
So, and they're good capitalists, you know. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's my concern.
Yeah,
Just a lot of,
I want to build on that a little bit. This is my pet peeve. I see so often people come into my office. I tell them, bring in the supplements you're taking. Let's check them on you and make sure that they're good for your body and, you know, in balance with you. And they come in with a cardboard box.
yeah.
You
I've
know,
seen that all the time.
all the time. And they go see a practitioner and they send them out the door with hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And that's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Because we do need basic nutrition, but we need to find the core problem. You know, yeah, you may have all kinds of symptoms all over the place, but they will go down to one or two things. That's a core problem. Usually one thing that's truly the core, and you take care of that. And maybe it's not such a great business model because you don't sell $600 worth of supplements out of the year. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
Right.
But treat the core problem.
Yeah.
Get to what's really going on and start building that up in the body.
Well, and have a little more laser, less shotgun approach with your solutions, you know.
That's sound like good advice. Well, you'll both be speaking at the 26 Homesteaders of Iowa Expo. What are you most excited to share with the homesteaders there this year?
Were we supposed to remember our topics before this lecture? I don't know.
They told me, Lucy got a hold of me right before I came in.
Can I buy a vowel? I don't remember.
Autoimmune.
Oh yeah, that's important. Autoimmune. And what was the other one?
I'd have to check my charts.
Wound management.
Yeah, it is wound management. I saw you.
that sounds
management.
Wound
Wound
management and autoimmune.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. And you know, wound management, because I was a veterinarian, I got to see everything. I mean, gunshot wounds, dogs hit by cars, horrible dog fight. I mean, you can't imagine the stuff I've seen with wounds. And my go-to first grab always in a wound case is herbs. In fact, a lot of wound cases, I don't use anything but herbs because they're extraordinarily good for those applications. So that's fun. And we'll have some cool pictures and some cool cases to show you that we've done over the years. And then the autoimmune disease, like I said, that's just such a huge issue. And there are some things that you can do naturally to help kind of settle things down a little bit with that immune hypersensitivity and get your body kind of back into balance. And so there's some really important things to understand about that can be helpful for a lot of folks. So yeah, those sound like good topics.
Those good topics. I'm going to jump in on this. Now, when you talk about seeing a lot of wounds, I've seen a lot of wounds too, because I spent 20 years in the back of an ambulance.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see them healed the way you heal them. And that's what amazed me is you can heal up things on animals that I don't even think they'd try and heal on humans without
a lot of surgical.
Without a lot of surgical and a lot of things. And that's truly one of the most amazing things I saw is your ability to heal up the wounds.
Well, I'm not doing it. I know this guy that made a lot of really cool plants, So I just use his stuff. But anyway,
Sounds pretty good.
but we've had a lot of cases of, refractory wounds in humans too, that
Yeah.
they've been going to a wound management clinic 3 times a week for 18 months and getting no progress at all. And you slap some weeds on the thing and give them some herbs internally. And in a month or so, it's all healed up. I mean, that's commonplace. That's the
That's real.
norm.
Yeah.
It's really astounding what the plants can do for that kind of thing.
It is.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from you and your videos, and that's why I chose that topic,
Yeah.
because
No,
it's one of
that's a
the
fun one.
things that I pass on your wisdom.
Good. Keep doing that. If I can get more people to do that, I can retire. That's right.
Yeah, you're never gonna retire. Yeah, I can't see you sitting around doing nothing.
No, I don't either.
Yep.
Tried it. I'm willing to try it.
Maybe you want to try.
Yeah.
Why
Anyway.
should families make it a priority to attend your sessions in person?
Well, because you'll learn all kinds of stuff. I mean, we had 15 children, okay, mostly adopted, but we had 15 children. And I think we had, in the 30 or however many years it took to raise those kids, I think we had 3 doctor visits total.
Wow.
And everything else we fixed with stuff that was grown in the garden, or weeds growing behind the garden,
Yeah.
just, and and the 3 doctor visits, one, I had a little girl that had an altercation with a broken peanut butter jar and had a bad cut, and she was only 3, so I wasn't going to sew it up.
Yeah.
But because I thought she'd need a little sedation to have a better time. But and then we had a kid from Haiti that I adopted who just got blisters all over his body, and I thought maybe it was some fun exotic vesicular tropical disease. So I took him to the doctor in case he wanted to write a paper and burn my house down. Turned out it was just the cold sore virus. First time blew up real bad on him. He never had trouble again. And the other kid was a kid that had a seizure for no reason out of the blue, and we took him to get some blood work and make sure there was nothing bad going on. But they never found anything on him either that what caused it. And never did it again. But yeah, 3 doctor's visits in 30 years. And you can take, and when my kids got sick, they went out and got something out of the garden and took care of it, or went to the herb cupboard and got something and took care of it. It was just, that was the way our family worked. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest testimonials of herbal medicine is some of those formulas taste absolutely horrible. And an 11-year-old kid will go get that stuff when he's coming down with something, it must be working.
Mhm. Yeah,
Or he wouldn't be doing it. So
that's right. Yeah.
Because, yeah. Okay, the topics that I have, I think I can remember mine. One's is generalized pain. How do you
Yeah.
take care of pain? Knees, back, shoulders, headaches, migraines, all of that. And so we'll be discussing that with auricular therapy, is how you can work on yourself and work on your friends and family, get rid of the pain. And what was really amazing is I've been doing this for over 25 years. I just sit in my office and work on people, and I see all the success. And when I would have a headache or something, it usually had to get pretty bad before I got around to working on myself. Then I just, work the points in my own ear. Well, once I started working with Dr. Jones and we started putting this course together, and his kids learned it, my wife got more involved in it. My own son got into it. Suddenly I had people actually working on me. And I'm going, wow, this stuff really works. I see it
What do you
work all the
know?
time. And I would use it on myself when if it was bad enough, I took the time to work on myself. But it was amazing. And there's a lot of power in being able to take care of pain and discomfort,
Oh, yeah.
because that's the
Yeah.
most
Yes.
common problem.
Yeah.
And if you can actually get somebody so that they stop suffering, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And the other topic is basically working with emotions, how to be happier in life, how to
Yeah.
work with anxiety and anger and depression. And we talked about those are actual epidemics.
Yep.
What really
Very
sold me
interesting.
on this was years ago. Wasn't even years ago. This was just a little over a year ago, I think. I had worked on tons of people in my office, but they come in my office, I work on them, and they go home, they come back and say, "Oh, I've been so much better since I was in there." But I had my granddaughter. She was 15 at the time. And she's always had anxiety. I had never seen her in a full-blown anxiety attack, but she had one about 10:30 at night at our house. She came in and woke my wife and I up. And, she was really upset then because she'd woke grandma and grandpa up, and that just killed her. They have to wake us up. But she was just really in a panic. Started to work in her ear. And in just a few minutes, breathing came back to normal. She started to joke with us. She laughed with us. 15, 20 minutes later, she's back in bed, went to sleep and slept all night. And to have that on my own granddaughter was worth all the schooling, all the experience, if that's the only thing I ever did with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked with literally hundreds of people in my office with anxiety, but that's the first time it really was in my own house in the middle of the night with my granddaughter, who I love with all my heart.
Yeah.
Everyone should have that option.
Yeah.
Should be able to help your own family that way.
And if you have the tools, whether it's herbal medicine or auricular therapy or, other things that we work with, if you have those tools and they're simple, I mean, anybody can do it,
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have to go to the ER at 11:30 at night.
Mhm.
You just solve the problem. If you're coming down with something, you solve the problem. You go out to the garden, you solve the problem. And 9 times out of 10, those tools are more than adequate for about anything that's going to come up in your family.
Right.
We
had 6 kids. I can't beat your number, but we had 6 kids. We hardly ever went to a doctor.
Yeah.
The same thing. We just took care of it at home.
Yep.
I was lucky enough to have other friends like you and a few other doctors that I could call on to if I needed help, but we just took care of about everything in-house.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to anticipate some questions we're going to get after this video is posted, and I'm sure people are going to ask us if you guys are going to have a clinic right there at the event where you can treat people, because they're going to hear your stories and they're going to say, "I want to be helped too."
Yeah. Well, I was
So
going to say,
what should you tell them about that?
no, I was going to say, if there's anything wrong with you, come to the booth and sit in a chair. Jed can fix about anything. And we'll have herbs there too. And when I go to these conferences, I stand there for 8 hours talking to people about things and
Yeah.
giving some advice on how they could manage some things. And that's why we go to conferences.
Yeah, that is.
It's just to help folks.
And I'm going to be sitting in the chair, and I'll just work on person after person. We'll work one problem like this lady with the knee.
Yeah.
5-10 minutes, and she was good to go, and just take the next one. And if I'm not out lecturing, you'll probably find me sitting in that chair working with people.
Yeah, that's how it works. And
I'm
honestly,
sure people will be looking forward to that.
Yeah. And it's not just pain stuff. If you got anything at all wrong,
Any.
auricular therapy is mind-bogglingly good. And
I like to tell people that auricular therapy is good for everything from headaches to hemorrhoids and everything in between.
that's right.
Okay.
Like A to Z.
That's right.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing you at the conference, both of you, of course.
Talking about booths, Dr. Jones will have 2 spots, 2 10x10 booths, and Dr. Adamson will have his own 10x10 booth. So there should be plenty of room.
We'll be right next to
We'll
each
be right
other.
together.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, because we just support each other.
yeah.
Everyone watching, this is just a small taste of the conversations you'll experience at February 27th and 28th at the Homesteaders of Iowa Expo and Midwest Conference, held at the Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa, Iowa.
We have links in the description below where you can learn more about our speakers, classes, workshops, and how to purchase tickets.
And we can't wait to see you there.